our last lesson we saw how the German unification process, which had begun in the mid-19th century, came to an end in 1871 with the German unification. In this lesson, let us now travel to another nation and find out how it was going through a process of unification and what happened at the end. Italy was politically fragmented until the mid-19th century. So there were a total of 7 states in Italy, out of which it was only Piedmont, Sardinia that was ruled by an Italian ruler. So the northern portion of Italy at this point of time was ruled by the Austrian Habsburgs. The middle portion was ruled by the Papal States, and the southern portion was ruled by the Bourbon kings of Spain. So in this way, Italy was not united, and in fact, Italian rulers were not present in any of these places apart from Piedmont, Sardinia. And it is for this reason Italy did not have a unified national identity until the mid-19th century. The Italian language was also spoken in various accents and regional variations in these different places. So it was very important to arrive at a point of unification so that a national identity, a national language, a national culture could be given to Italy. So let us now learn about the things that were happening in Italy and how those contributed to the Italian unification. Now mind you, the Italian unification process had also begun in the 1840s, and it was achieved in the same year as the German unification in 1871. One of the most important architects of the Italian unification would be Giuseppe Mazzini. Now we have already been introduced to this figure in one of our lessons. Giuseppe Mazzini was born in Genoa in 1807. He was a revolutionary liberal. He believed that nation is the natural unit of humankind, and so Italy should not be divided and fragmented into several principalities and states. So it was very important to give Italy a unified national status. And it is for this reason that he constantly went against the rule and the diktats of the conservative autocratic governments. As early as at 24 years of age, Mazzini had organized a revolution in Liguria in 1831. But at this point of time, the government saw that he was posing a threat to the conservative rule, which is why he was arrested, and this revolution in 1831 came to an end. But his liberal and nationalistic ideas were not to be completely suppressed, because he played a very crucial role in forming a unitary Italian republic. He formed 2 secret societies. Why were these secret societies? Because at this point of time the government did not allow any political associations or societies to function, because the government was apprehensive of the power that these societies could have on the people and how these societies could eventually overthrow the conservative rules. And so he had to found secret societies. Now Mazzini founded 2 secret societies, which were Young Italy at Marseille in France and Young Europe at Bern in Switzerland. And through these secret societies he continued to spread his revolutionary ideas among the masses. The revolutionary uprisings in Italy in the years 1831 and 1848 ended up in failure. But the revolutionaries nonetheless wanted to achieve a unified Italy, Italy as a united nation state. But how could they achieve so? They knew that no one of the Italian states was ruled by Italian rulers apart from Sardinia Piedmont. So the responsibility of Italian unification now fell fell on and was taken up by the ruler of Sardinia-Piedmont, which was Victor Emmanuel II. Now, Victor Emmanuel II played a very important role in achieving a united Italy. He was the ruler of Piedmont, Sardinia. Victor Emmanuel II also relied on his Prime Minister Cavour. Now, what role did Cavour play in the Italian unification in the earlier stages? Let us find this out. Cavour, like any bureaucrat, like any diplomat, spoke French better than how he spoke Italian. He knew French very well, which is why he could establish diplomatic relationships and alliances with France. And by establishing diplomatic alliances with France, Sardinia-Piedmont successfully defeated the Austrian forces in 1859. So the Austrian Habsburgs, who were in power in the northern portion of Italy till this point of time, were defeated with the help of France. So this is what had happened to Italy in 1859. So slowly, one by one, these regions will now be coming under the control of Italy as a whole. This is a process, and let us now look at how this was being achieved. And this is how the Italian peninsula looked in the early 1860s. At this point of time, there were only 5 Italian states. So there was Venetia at the top, where the Austrians were still there. Then there was San Marino. Then there was the Papal State. And then at the bottom or at the south were the Kingdom of Two Sicilies. And here was the Kingdom of Piedmont, Sardinia. So till this point of time, Italy was not unified as one whole nation state. In the middle of the 19th century, a sailor in the merchant navy called Giuseppe Garibaldi played a very crucial role in facilitating Italian unification. Now, he was a sailor in the merchant navy, as we just learnt about. And so, he now wanted to bring all the Italian states together. And so, he now took it upon himself to undertake this project of Italian unification from mid-1850s. Now, Garibaldi was inspired and influenced by Mazzini, so much so that he joined the Young Italy movement in 1833. Subsequently, he participated in a republican uprising in Piedmont in 1834. But after this, he was arrested, and so he had to live in exile in South America till 1848. And this was the initial stages of how he was being drawn into this movement for Italian unification. Subsequently, from the 1850s, he would now play a very crucial role in this process. Garibaldi's most important contribution to this Italian unification movement started from the 1860s. In 1860, Garibaldi marched to the south of Italy, and this came to be known as the Expedition of the Thousand. Now, as he kept on marching towards the south of Italy, more and more people, more and more revolutionaries started joining him. And at one point of time, he had around 30,000 men with him. So, together with his men, who were also known as the Red Shirts, he now marched into the south of Italy. And here, he drove out the Spanish rulers by receiving help from the local peasants. And he now freed the kingdom of the two Sicilies, which were in the south of Italy, from the Spanish troops. So in this way, Garibaldi and his red shirts between 1860 and 1861 managed to get hold of the kingdom of two Sicilies. So the south of Italy was also under Garibaldi's control, following which in November 1860, Garibaldi handed over Naples and Sicily to Victor Emmanuel II. Now this is an English caricature dating to 1859, where Garibaldi is shown helping Victor Emmanuel II pull on a boat in which Italy is written. With this, the two kingdoms of Sicily were now under the control of Piedmont Sardinia. Many other Italian states also started joining Piedmont Sardinia. And finally, in the year 1861, Italy was proclaimed a kingdom and Victor Emmanuel II was proclaimed its king. But a very important point that we need to keep in our minds is that till this point of time, Italian unification was not achieved because Rome and Venetia were not united. So this was how the Italian unification was happening. It was a long process that we have been discussing all along. Now it was in the year 1866 that Venetia was added to Italy. How did this happen? Now a war was fought between Austria and Prussia, and this was the 7 Weeks War. In this 7 Weeks War, Austria was defeated by Prussia, and Italy had supported Prussia in this war against Austria. Because Prussia won the 7 Weeks War, Venetia was given to Italy as a gift, and so Venetia was now added to Italy. So the only place that remained to be brought under the control of Italy was Rome. In the following year, that is in 1867, Garibaldi along with his red shirts now attempted to control Rome by defeating the French garrison stationed there. But the French garrison was much more powerful than Garibaldi and the red shirts. So in 1867, Garibaldi along with the red shirts was defeated, and French garrison was still stationed at Rome. But it was very crucial to gain control of Rome in order to completely unify Italy. And how do you think did this happen? In the year 1870, the Franco-Prussian War was fought. And when the Franco-Prussian War was fought, France was on the losing side. And the Italian government now saw the opportunity that it had to seize. It now sent troops to take over Rome from the Pope, because the papal authority had to be defeated in order to bring Rome under the control of Italy. And this could happen only after the Franco-Prussian War in 1870, when France and Prussia got embroiled in a war, and it wasn't really possible for France to take care of its holdings in Italy. Finally, when the government troops were sent to take over Rome from the Pope, in 1871, the citizens of Rome now voted for a union with Italy. Because at this point of time, the citizens of Rome saw that theirs was the only state which was not united with Italy, and they could not be excluded from this entire nation, and so they voted for or in favor of a union with Italy, and Rome was finally declared a part of Italy, with it becoming the new capital city of Italy. So it was in 1871 that all the states that were formerly under the control of different powers were finally brought together and united in the form of a new nation state, which was Italy. With this, we come to an end of our discussion on Italian unification as it was completely achieved in 1871. In the beginning of this lesson, we saw that Italy until the mid-19th century was divided into several states, and these states were under the control of different powers like the Austrian Habsburgs, like the Papal States, or like the Bourbon kings of Spain. And it was only Sardinia Piedmont that was ruled by an Italian ruler. Now Sardinia Piedmont, along with its ruler Victor Emmanuel II, played a very important role in the Italian unification. And mention must also be made of Mazzini in spreading revolutionary ideas among the masses. And also we should keep in our minds the contribution of Garibaldi in achieving this unification. Now, this map here shows us how this process of Italian unification took place over a period of 2 decades. The northern states were unified by 1860s itself. In fact, Piedmont Sardinia now played a crucial role in bringing all these other states under the control of Italy. So, it was finally in 1870 when Rome was brought under the control of Italy, and in 1871 when the citizens of Rome voted for a union with Italy, that this entire process of Italian unification was achieved. So, remember the year 1871 as the one when this entire Italian unification was completed. With this, we conclude our lesson on Italian unification, and in our subsequent lesson, we will be focusing on the formation of a nation state in Britain. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel and hit the bell icon. You can also register for free at DeltaStep.com or download the DeltaStep app to learn one-to-one with our amazing teachers, or to get access to all our 5,000 plus amazing videos as per your school syllabus. Master each topic with our adaptive practice technology. Get million-plus questions with step-by-step solutions and unlimited mock tests. Get all your doubts resolved instantly. Learn via games and win amazing prizes like PlayStations and iPads. So at DeltaStep, learning is not just fun and easy, it's rewarding too. So register for free now.